Where am I? Where's Reznov?
We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
What's going on, everybody? Today I wanted to talk about Palworld and its 1.0 release that happened back on July 10th. Now, me and my friends have been playing this non-stop, and it's honestly become a problem. But that begs the question, what makes Palworld so fun? Now, I'm going to treat this video as a little bit of a review and just kind of rambling about what I really enjoy about this game, probably talk about a couple negatives here and there, but otherwise, let's just get right into it. Now, it's been over 2 years since the game initially released back in January of 2024. And man, I tell you, when this game came out, it grabbed gamers by the palspheres. There was just something about this game with its vast open world, many different weapons and ways to play that just kind of sat right with everybody, including me, who had never played a Pokemon game in his life. Sacrilege, I know. But when Palworld came out and my buddy told me, hey man, hop on Palworld, I was like, I don't know. I'm not really into Pokemon. And he was like, oh yeah? What if I told you it's Pokemons with guns and slavery? Count me in! Now, for those who are unaware, Palworld is an open-world monster taming game developed by a gaming company known as Pocket Pair, made up of a few employees of 55 to 60, allegedly. Which is crazy, because you're telling me 55 to 60 people made this? Anyways, Palworld has so many different mechanics mixed into its formula. Like, you can mine like you would in Minecraft, like ore, wood, stone, etc. And there's also a level progression system, kind of like a RPG game where there's like stats like health, stamina, there's carry weight, work speed, and stuff like that. Every time you level up, you can like put stats into those attributes. And each time you level up, besides the skill points, you get technology points, which you can put towards unlocking different types of structure sets, weapons, and tons of different stuff that I don't even probably know the full extent of myself yet. Oh, and for the slavery. Yeah, so you can build bases in this game. Like, you'll unlock structure sets like wood, stone, metal, and whatnot. So in these bases, you can basically automate everything by getting your pals to do it for you. Like, you can make yourself like an ore workstation, a wood workstation, stone, and all that, and then assign a pal to it. But the catch is you kind of have to keep them happy if they're going to work for you forever. Like, so you got to feed them good food, make sure they have like hot springs and hot tubs and stuff like that, comfy beds. It's kind of funny and cute and stuff, but when they get pissed off with you, it's even more funny because you'll see that they're like depressed, annoyed, and they can't work for you no longer. And it's just like, okay, like what's the problem? You got to go diagnose what's going on. And sometimes it's just a pathing issue. Maybe you have enough hot tubs and stuff like that, but they're just like way on the other side of your base. So the base building is definitely finicky, but I really love it. I don't know. There's something just, I don't even know. I love the base building in this game. It's just addicting, I guess. But yeah, it's just honestly a super fun, addicting gameplay loop that will just have you playing for countless hours. It's one of those games that will always have you like, okay, I gotta hop off, but oh, like, let me just do this first. Okay, well, now that I've done that, I gotta go check on this. And then now it's been an hour since you said you're gonna hop off. And mind you, all of this fun for the low price of like $30, I think it is absurd in today's economy. But unfortunately, every good thing today can't go without its controversy. That's right. I know you knew I was leaving something out. It didn't take long for gamers and a certain company to notice similarities between Palworld and Pokemon, and sometimes it is pretty damn similar. Okay. Now, I don't want to get too far into it today because that's not what this video was about. But yes, at the peak of Palworld's popularity, they were hit with a lawsuit from none other than Nintendo. I believe the whole thing was an issue over Palworld's catch and release system, throwing the Palsphere to catch a pal and then throwing them to release to like fight alongside you. I guess Nintendo said that they had a patent for the whole throwing the Palsphere to summon a animal like creature. And regardless, Pocket Pair obliged immediately, and they took that animation away. So anytime you summon a pal, it just kind of appears, which not the end of the world in my opinion. But I mean, I did play when it wasn't like that, and it is kind of jarring a little bit for sure. I do find it funny, however, that Nintendo didn't really go after them in regards to like similarities with pals and Pokemons, like Sparkit, for example. I mean, I never really played Pokemon, so I don't know many, but like, I think Anubis is kind of similar to a certain Pokemon as well. Like, there's a few examples for sure, but yeah, kind of funny that they chose something so weird and niche like that, I guess. I don't know. But in my humble opinion, none of this is productive, as I believe gaming companies and developers should be inspired by what they liked as kids, what made them, what inspired them to grow up and do this for a living. I believe that they should be allowed to take inspiration and turn it into something wonderful for other gamers to play and let people go like, oh, that's kind of similar to that. This is a cool little spin on that. I personally think that that is just what gaming is about, really. I mean, every game that we are playing today is kind of like, not a spin-off is the wrong word, but very heavily inspired by things that maybe even our parents played. Like, everything comes from somewhere. Imagine a world where Pocket Pair and Nintendo teamed up to do some type of collab or like a game together. Like, that would be incredible. But we will never ever see that in any of our lifetimes ever. Keeping with the theme of inspiration, it's no secret that Palworld is heavily inspired by a smattering of different games that I'm sure a lot of us have played over the years. Games that I immediately see in Palworld are Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, yeah, of course, Pokemon and Elden Ring. I think those games are, in my opinion, the biggest games that jump out at me when I'm playing Palworld. Like, from the moment you boot up Palworld, you're met with similar jingles when you discover an area that, to me, just immediately remind me of Breath of the Wild. There's those new towers that they added in 1.0 that kind of help you discover chunks of the map, which are super helpful, by the way. But those towers, again, similar to Breath of the Wild. You have the paraglider, and all around the open world you'll see like these kind of twirly wind tunnels, like the Spirit Springs from Elden Ring. Not to mention they added in 1.0 like these small little towers all around the map where you have to hack, and it's kind of like a different mini game every time you try it, which is pretty cool. And then when you get inside, it's literally just a reward there waiting for you, which is awesome. Those I found to be pretty reminiscent of Elden Ring's Sage Towers. Especially there's one where like you gotta like destroy a few rocks around the tower, like they're glowing blue, so that just really, I was like, oh, okay, I've seen that before. And then of course in the distance you see that big beautiful tree with the glowing blue hue to it, which, I mean, besides the blue, just the big tree in general, of course, reminds you of the Erd tree. Which, by the way, before 1.0 was literally just like a JPEG on the back of the world map, but now you can actually go there, which is awesome. And inside, by the way, it totally gives off Shadow of the Erd tree vibes. I'll probably show some footage here. I really thought that was super cool. And they added, of course, that big floating island, which I had my suspicions about, and my suspicions were kind of confirmed, because as soon as I teleported there, you see that big tornado, which immediately I'm like, oh my god, it's like Farum Azula. But I mean, like, I'm saying it looks like, it's just very much inspired, like, especially that big island, when you get moving in it, it looks nothing like Farum Azula, but initially you're just like, it was almost like they did it intentionally, where it was like the first shot you see, it's like, oh my god, I'm in Farum Azula again. And then you look around, you're like, okay, no, like, this is totally different. But it was kind of like a nod, I guess, which was really, really cool. You could tell Pocket Pair spent a lot of time developing and creating these new areas, which they all look incredible. My only gripe with these new areas is the fact that by the time you get there, you usually have a pretty fast flying mount, so you don't really feel compelled to like dive down and like look around. Besides pals you've never caught before and effigies, there's not really any reason to explore, and both of those things you can kind of see from up high and then like use your own judgment on whether or not you're gonna go land and explore it a little bit. So I want to sort of pump the brakes a little bit and go over a little bit of the negatives that I found in my experience with Palworld, which to me there really isn't a lot, and I'm probably only really nitpicking, but alas, let's just get into it. Now, the first opinion I'd like to throw my hat in the ring on is I found it kind of silly when Pocket Pair's publishing boss made a statement saying users going into 1.0 should completely wipe their data, which I think he backpedals on a little bit by saying, now you don't have to wipe your data. I'm just saying there's so much new in Palworld that it would just almost be confusing for you to resume where you left off, so you should just start new. And to be totally honest, I was going to start new anyways. Like, I just wanted to just start new and just experience the new 1.0 for what it was. Now, after playing 1.0 from the beginning to the very end, what was so new?
Not a damn thing!
To be completely fair, they did change the end game quite a bit. Like, they have the floating island and the world tree now, which I think was a big selling point for the 1.0 update. But going back to the beginning of the game, pretty much completely nothing has changed. They did add a few, obviously, I think they added like 70 plus new pals to the game, but they added a few new beginning game pals. And I mean, I don't know, it's like whoop-de-doo, I guess, but like otherwise it was just business as usual. Nothing really changed in the beginning. The pacing of the game is definitely a lot like slower. I don't know, it was very weird. I found myself unlocking Hexalite 10 to 15 levels before I was like actually able to fully like use it. And I'm on a server with like a few of my friends and my brother and stuff like that. And it was just the pacing was definitely weird, especially early on too, actually. It was a very slow grind, which I mean, I don't mind necessarily, but yeah, those are really the biggest differences that I noticed. But does all of this really merit you resetting your game? I don't think so. I mean, I think a more apt statement would have been, you know, going into 1.0, guys, you'll notice the end game is super different now, and don't be surprised if you see some changes to PAL's passives and stuff like that, because you'll notice even in the early game, like some of their work suit abilities are kind of ramped up a little bit, but that's really only to accommodate for the fact that work suit ability used to have a ceiling of 5 and now it's 10. I mean, again, did you have to really restart? No, but I mean, now you get to experience what all the new changes are, I guess, to pretty much every PAL along the way. So there's that. Now, to add to the list of negatives, the story in Palworld was 100% expository, which I think we knew going into it, especially with the pre-release. Like, it's all just like NPCs talking to you and stuff like that. But when I heard from the publishing boss that the game was going to be completely different, there was a small part of me that was really hoping for maybe some NPCs that had like voice acting to them, or maybe a cutscene here or there. Not, I mean, everywhere, but like, you know, here or there, just to kind of give you some more like weight to the story, I suppose. That one cutscene though, entering the world tree, was really freaking cool, I will say. Regardless, I didn't really retain much from the story. I found it very tedious to have to track down like NPCs to learn about the story. All the side quests, all the quests leading up to the main quest, I just wasn't motivated to do them all. Especially since I played the pre-release a few times. Whenever there was that quest that said, go learn more about the next tower, I was like, no, I'll just go to the next tower. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't super motivated to do that. Maybe that's on me though, but if I have to track down journals or NPCs that are hidden way in buttfuck nowhere, then that almost tells me that you don't really want me to learn more of your story. So, I don't know. But on the flip side, closer to the end of the game in the world tree, talking to some of those NPCs, the little bits I learned from the story at that point, it was pretty cool. About like something about a calamity deep within the world tree that's kind of affecting all the PALs in the world, and you had to stop it. I mean, there was a PAL trainer that went in before you with a PAL, and I believe that's the final boss. It was pretty cool at the end for sure. So either way, I was a little disappointed, but you don't really be playing Palworld for the riveting story it tells. I'd be playing Palworld to capture strong PALs and use those strong PALs against stronger PALs. Also the breeding and the base building and a lot of other stuff. Coming back to the lighter side of things, it's pretty funny that I just bitched about the lack of story, or at least the poor delivery of the story, when I have so many hours in the game, which I think is just a testament to how fun and addicting the gameplay is. There are so many different ways to engage and interact with the world of Palworld that you really truly never can get bored. Are you tired of exploring the map? Go catch some PALs. Are you tired of catching PALs? Go build a base, and then in that base, use the PALs you caught to do stuff. Go fishing. I don't know, man. Like, there's just so much to do, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun for, again, the small price tag of $30. To just double back for a second on the negative list, another really small thing, I wish there was music in the game. Like, there is music, but I wish there was music when exploring, and I wish there was almost like a music box that you could place at bases just to just kind of set the mood of the base that you're trying to build. I don't know, like, the game is very quiet at times. I just think some soft music under the exploration and whatnot would help that a lot. All in all, Palworld is a damn fun game, and if you haven't played it, you best go and do it now. There is no better time to jump in than right now. I believe they did a fantastic job with 1.0. I found myself a lot of times thinking to myself, if this was my first time playing Palworld, this would be super fucking fun. It was still super fucking fun, but it would just be more fun, because like I said, the whole thing with the quests and stuff, I wasn't motivated to do them. I just went straight to the tower. But if you've never played, you don't know where those towers are and stuff, then yeah, you'll probably end up doing the quests and just getting more out of it most likely. But yeah, I for one am totally excited to see what Pocket Pair comes up with next, whether it be expansions to Palworld or a completely new adventure that's not Palworld. Either way, they killed it. They knocked it out of the park with this game, and it is damn fun. Kind of a random upload today. I know I'm a little late to the party, but it is what it is. I, as usual, am super busy. I'm in the middle of buying a house right now, and it's just a lot on my plate. That with work and stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to find the time to do the things I love, which is making videos, especially about video games. So either way, if you liked the video, please drop a like and a comment. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear them. What did you think about Palworld? Do you like Palworld? Have you played the new update yet? Let me know. All right, everybody, that's all I've got for today. I will catch you in the next one. See ya and have a good day.